Please tell me there's a happy ending.
So I've been seeing in some of the online fan groups that people weren't very happy with the Lovecraft Country ending. Some have claimed that the ending came out of nowhere, but it didn't, because Atticus told all of us he was going to die. And like his father, we were all just hoping for a happy ending. Hey, free crafters, my name's Kwana, and welcome to Her Real Review's first Lovecraft Country short. This video will contain major spoilers for the show and the novel by Matt Ruff, which is the basis for the show's premise. So if you haven't watched the show or you haven't read the novel, then feel free to come back to this video later. But for the rest of you who don't care about spoilers, let's talk about why we were all so disappointed. I know many of us were heartbroken that Lovecraft is over. Hopefully HBO will renew it for a second season and Misha Green will come back to create even more content. I believe there is still a lot to explore in the LCC universe. In the finale of season 1, our protagonist Atticus sacrifices himself. Sorry if that's a shocker. It's a heartbreaking scene. I definitely cried. But 2 episodes earlier, Atticus told us what was going to happen in the show's final episodes, and many of us, myself included, were just too entranced by the mystery and all of the allusions to notice it. Because in episode 8, the Freemans and the friends are dealing with the death of Emmett Till, and it's a very emotional show. But in the episode, Atticus goes to Christina Braithwaite to get protection. We see that he's desperate for it in a way that he hasn't been before. He later tells his father that he went to the future, and we see that he has a copy of the Lovecraft Country novel written by his own son, George Freeman. He tells Montrose that in the book, George lives, Christina is a man, and Dee is a boy named Horace. I personally was really thinking that maybe when he went into the future, the book was written by a living version of his uncle. I don't know how many of you might have thought the same thing. But all of those things are actually what happens in the real novel by Matt Ruff. Obviously, Tick hadn't read the chapter about Dee, or he would know that right that very moment she was being haunted. Montrose asks Tick if there is a happy ending. And unfortunately, Atticus says, I die. Christina sacrifices me in a spell that she's going to do on the autumnal equinox. And that's why he's trying to cast this protection spell. But in the real novel, that's not what happens. In the novel, Atticus lives. We actually see him at the end of the book. The show changes a lot of things in the book, and I actually like a lot of those changes. But as Tick says in the book, George lives, Christina doesn't exist but is a man, and Dee is a boy. And Hippolyta doesn't visit like amazing timelines and meet Josephine Baker. There are a lot of changes in the book. But most importantly, Tick lives in the book. So why did he tell Montrose that he died at that moment before he really knew? Because in George Freeman's book, he does die. And showrunner Misha Green is preparing us all for Tick's death in this timeline. He doesn't know what's to come, and if you haven't watched episodes 9 and 10 yet, I won't go into every minute detail here. But make no mistake, the showrunners were preparing us for that ending. And they delivered on the ending that they set up. Many of us, even folks like me who read the book, just simply missed it the first time around. So it's important for us to keep our eyes open. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want more Lovecraft Country content, come back, see me next time as we talk about whether or not Ruby lives or dies. Toodles.